set for some late night midweek action from Lincoln. Northwestern at 1-11 in Big Ten action, but over the weekend on Friday, they got a 3-set win over Michigan State. They did that without Temi Thomas-Ayalara. And then, of course, Nebraska, we showed you their record in conference. They're at 18-3 overall. And so that is the tall order for Shane Davis in his 4th season at the helm of the Wildcats. Charlotte Chronister is a true freshman from Chicago. She serves to get us underway tonight, going at Kubik. Peyton Chang is the Stanford grad transfer. She set Thomas-Ayalara, and a hitting error to start the night. Northwestern insisting a touch.
I don't know if they're going to get the green light or the green card from Coach Davis for the first point.
He does not go to it here early on the first point. There's Kenzie Knuckles, freshman libero for Nebraska. A couple of hitting errors to start.
Yeah, you'll see Alana Walker go behind the setter quite often off of 1 foot. And she's been getting a lot of attacks, a lot of looks, a better connection between Northwestern setter Peyton Chang and Alana Walker these days.
Yeah, they set her even more the 2 matches that Temi Thomas-Ayalara was unavailable for over the weekend. There's Jazz Sweet, kept up by Chronister momentarily, and a 3-0 start for Nebraska. Well, we told you a sprained ankle a few matches back in the Rutgers match for Temi Thomas-Ayalara, so we're going to keep an eye on how she's moving out there. Looks all right so far.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
There's Walker again on a slide. Nicklin Haynes sets Kubik. Sun sets Kubik. And Northwestern on the board. 20th season at the helm for John Cook, and a win tonight gives them another winning record in conference play. And it seems so simple, so annual for this Nebraska program, but still bears mentioning the power that he has built.
Well, let's not forget Terry Pettit, too. You know, John Cook was a predecessor. You know, Terry Pettit was, you know, the Nebraska coach that kind of, I would say, invented volleyball there in Nebraska, but he had a nice run, and then John Cook took over. And don't forget, John went to Wisconsin as well for a little bit and came back to Nebraska.
And between them, 37 straight NCAA tournaments, of course. 5-1 the early start for the Huskers at home.
Yeah, Nicklin Haynes does a nice job as a setter with that block position. She's getting about 0.5 blocks per set in that setting position, doing a nice job, getting hands over the net. Not getting tooled, and that's the key thing for setters.
Service error from Megan Miller that time. Peyton Chang back to serve. 4 years at Stanford, couple of national title teams as a backup setter. Lauren Stivrins unloading.
Yeah, and that was a fast tempo, too. You saw Nicklin Haynes are just eyeing her right now on this set. You got a nice pass. She kind of goes against the grain right at the last second, just shoots it behind her head. We talked about it before, Mike, maybe setter positions and how they try to disguise where they're going to set. You can watch Nicklin Haynes. Everything's upper body.
There's a kill for Ella Gerbach. We showed you her at the top. She has battled injuries like so many of these Wildcats this year.
Yeah, and they like her on the opposite. She was having a hard time on the left side with some injuries. Maybe, you know, perhaps you have to wait a little longer, the landing, all of the above. But she's found a place on the opposite and doing a nice job getting those kills.
Sarah Johnson serves. Good pass from Kubik. There's a swing for Stivrins and Northwestern within 2.
Yeah, Nia Robinson is pumped up there. A veteran on this team, does a nice job putting on the brakes and really pushing her hands towards the center of the court, identifying where that ball is going to. And she's got nice eye sequencing as well.
Hames, the dunk. Told you year 4 for Shane Davis over in the women's game, of course. Looking for what would be Northwestern's 2nd ever win as a program against Nebraska.
Well, the folks out there have to remember Nebraska wasn't always in the Big Ten. And so that plays into it as well.
Out of the middle that time, it was a swing for Desiree Becker.
There's another athlete that have contributed in different areas on the court. She was an opposite in the beginning of the year with some other injuries of other players, so she's been able to step up in a lot of different areas.
Gerback again.
Yeah, she's got that nice, sharp cross-court hit off of 2 feet. Not easy to do, but she's got a lot of power, a lot of strength to be able to do it. And especially for those hitters, you cannot broad jump. You have to put on the brakes and go straight up, something you were working on earlier, Mike.
I've gotten a crash course on a lot of the technique this year from you. That was Kubik out of the back row. Robinson's tip read well by Miller. Sun had to adjust on the set from Hames. Wurzenbach from the middle. Off the touch, it's Lexi Sun.
Now there's a sign of a smart player too. They keep going back to her. She changes her approach, adjusts each time, and look at her. She's eyeing the left hand of Nia Robinson and goes right after it. You take those risks, you get big rewards.
And an early 4-point edge for number 7, Nebraska. Wurzenbach got it before it went over the net. Got the swing going one-on-one against Walker.
Yeah, Walker's doing a nice job too. Over 1 blocks per set for her. Does a nice job holding steady. Doesn't have to move a lot with her feet, but look how her arms angle. She identifies the angle of Callie Schwarzenbach and takes it away from her.
And that is the thumb of Callie Schwarzenbach, heavily wrapped up.
Yeah, that's not fun to play with either. Every time you make contact, you feel it. You just push through the pain with these players. A lot of fingers taped out there, but that is an injury. You just kind of ignore it through the match and play through it.
For a sophomore middle who was very good attacking against Purdue and Rutgers, was relatively quiet against Penn State on Saturday.
And here's Lexi's second kill right here. Take a nice approach from the right side. She's so good, she can take it from the left, take it from the right. And she's got Nia Robinson's number right there on the left side pin.
Or passing from Emily Eamon. Nia Robinson got it over.
On your team.
Service error from Knuckles.
Yeah, you see them trying to go after Charlotte Chronister. Last time these two teams played, they were trying to stay away from the libero, and they're going to go after their defensive specialist.
Yeah, Shane Davis said, what, it was only about 5 times he felt like that Lexi Pitsis, the libero for Northwestern, got served. Walker had some trouble with it. Yeah, this is the second meeting between these teams. They met in September about 5.5 weeks ago. That first weekend of Big Ten action, a 3-set win for Nebraska in Evanston. 25-21, then 25-17, and then for John Cook's team in set 3, 30-28 against the Wildcats. Good pass by Eamon. Kept up. It looked like, no, they'll say it was down, as both Hames and Knuckles laid out for it.
Yeah, and the Northwestern staff too, eyeing that as it goes all the way down. Good layout, great defensive moves, but just not quite there. was nice for those two identify they're going after the same ball, so it's good they don't get hurt that way as well. That's an easy way to get hurt when two heads collide.
Kubik blasting away.
Yeah, her numbers have grown. As soon as that non-conference season ended, the Big Ten season started. Boy, she's getting a lot of swings. She's hitting big swings and big times for Nebraska. You mentioned the match point against Penn State. That was big. That was huge.
It's that big arm on Tammy Thomas-Ayalara. Sun going line. Nice vision.
Yeah, great vision in all areas of the court, too. If you're the coach on the opposing side and you're keeping track of all her swings, they're going all areas of the court. She's got a lot of range. She sees the defense. She listens to her teammates. She's a nice outside hitter.
Another attack error from Thomas-Ayalara. She's got 3
things Coach Davis had said is that they need to be serving tough. And, you know, everyone says that, right, Mike? When we talk to, coaches, they say, we need to serve tough, we need to serve tough. But guess what? You really do against a team like Nebraska. You need to take them out of the offense so they're not able to feed their nose like students.
Kubik with the kill, the freshman from West 10 in opponent hitting percentage overall at 142.
Well, that's a recipe for success, state of success, that's for sure.
There you go.
And that is Nebraska's mantra right there. This is what they hold true for their program year after year.
Shane Davis had to take his first time out of set 1. Nicklin Hames was looking toward the corner.
Yeah, nice follow by Pitsis, too, going all the way to the end line, not just stopping her feet and moving her head and calling out. She's doing what she needs to do and following it. It was aggressive by Nicklin Hames, and guess what? She can do it. They're up by a bunch of points, and setters will take those risks.
And now Pitsis serving. The pass by Miller allows Callie Schwarzenbach to get involved. The sophomore middle standing at 6'5".
Well, here's the story, too, and I thought back when Nebraska lost to Purdue. Remember that match? They lost to Purdue in 5, and a lot of people had said that Callie Schwarzenbach needed to get more involved, and she needs to get up there and take some hard swings. And I really believe that Nicklin Hames has been trying to find her in a lot of situations. And this will make the difference for them, I think, when the NCAA tournament comes around, having Callie be more involved. But you saw right there, Nicklin Hames did a nice job of holding the block and really creating that space for Callie.
Well, Schwarzenbach against Purdue and Rutgers, 17 kills on 34 swings. Back-to-back matches, then 4 kills, 4 errors, 13 swings Saturday against Penn State. Pitsis, and the Wildcats couldn't keep it up on a Jazz Sweet swing.
Yeah, and Jazz Sweet has been one of those players, too, for Nebraska, has really stepped up from last season. You know, every year your role changes, and it adds a little bit more. You have to add a little bit more to your repertoire, and Jazz Sweet has done just that. She gets a little bit more attempts than in years past, and she's expected to come through, and she's come through big so far for Nebraska.
4 kills on 5 swings here in set 1 as Nia Robinson, the junior from Indy, answers for the Wildcats.
Yeah, she sure does, too. Only a couple kills for her on the evening, but she uses that tape well. Does a nice job of keeping the ball in front, and they're really setting her off the net, so the block is off. The block is early. So she's able to take some swings and get some kills.
Robinson, by the way, she reached 1,000 career kills in the match Friday against Michigan State. Service error there from Chronister.
And Chronister has been in there doing a nice job this season so far, serving, putting a little pressure on the opponents, that time just wide.
Now Kenzie Knuckles, the co-Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week for her performance in large part against the Nittany Lions on Saturday. Shot by Kubik down the line.
And that was a high point of contact, too. And what Northwestern can't do is give Nebraska a free ball so they can set a play like that.
Another timeout for this Northwestern team. Down by 7 here in set 1 on the road. Knuckles ready to serve again. Alana Walker got the touch she wanted.
Yeah, going for those deep edges. Alana Walker likes going behind the setter. Really elevates. That time she found some hands. Nice kill by Alana Walker.
If you haven't heard by now, the daughter, of course, of Antoine Walker, 3-time NBA All-Star. Good block touch on Thomas Ayalara. The Wildcats go right back to her, and nothing doing just yet for Temi Thomas Ayalara.
Yeah, when you're out of system 2 and you got the setter up there, you have 2 attackers, nobody in the backcourt really to take those hard swings. Nebraska just tees up, waits for her. Good timing, 4 hands all over Temi.
7 swings without a kill for Temi Thomas Ayalara. Again, back after missing the last couple of matches with a sprained ankle that she suffered going up at the net, blocking against Rutgers 3 matches ago. Dug by Chronister. Coverage off the block. And a hitting error, the 5th one for Thomas Ayalara. Eight points, the edge for Nebraska here in set 1. Second time facing Northwestern this season. Chang sets Thomas Ayalara again, and she's on the board with her first kill.
I think that's the set she wants too. A little bit of space from the net so she can identify a nice pass, but again, into a double block. You see thumb up, thumb down, hitting the edge.
Told you she's been out the last few matches, but averaging well over 4 kills per set. Dug by Chronister on Kubik's swing. Chang's bump set leads to a free ball. Hames, that was read well. At the net, kept up by Sun. Kept up by Chronister now. Best rally we've had so far is finished by Temi Thomas Ayalara. That was fun to watch.
It was. High attitude. Get a big reach. Great layout. Ball down.
Kubik is blocked.
Yeah, it seems the faster that you take that arm swing, the faster the block comes straight down.
So it leads to a timeout. Crowd to its feet here in Lincoln. Kubik. Chang got a piece of it. Off the free ball. Haynes sets difference. Set 1 to the Huskers. John Cook's team back home wondering if they could prevent a letdown after the big win on Saturday.
Through the rest of the season, win or lose, you learn a lot from that. And for Nebraska, coming off in a very emotional week, I think that was key. And being home, that was the big factor.
Nearly 8,400 in here for that match on Saturday. Ella Gerbach's tip is denied to start set 2.
Yeah, not a huge approach by Ella Gerbach, and Nebraska's just waiting for her big swing by Desiree to keep it going. But Kelly Schwarzenbach can just stick her left hand over there and tip it over. That's what she does so well, and that has been her role on this Nebraska team, is control the net, be physical at the net.
That violation on Northwestern.
I'd like to see Northwestern create a little bit more space, give themselves a little bit more time to set up their offense and move the ball around a little bit more. But it requires good passing, good ball control.
Yeah, 21 swings combined for Gerbach and Tammy Thomas-Ayalara. Here's Lexi Sun. Nia Robinson again and off the mark.
Yeah, 2 swings have been around the 10-foot line, even behind it for Nia Robinson. She's putting a lot of power on that ball, trying to find hands or maybe deep edges. Just tough to do when the ball's right on top of your head and not in front of the 3-meter line. And as an outside hitter, you need to take that approach going towards the ball. Your momentum needs to be going forward.
Remember, they've worked a lot with her on that first step. They wanted her to be patient with it, something Shane Davis said to us. Well, it's prompted a 4-0 start diamond in.
A lot of Husker fans out there all over the place.
Man, the reach of Husker Nation is impressive, always. Sarah Johnson in a passing role for Northwestern. A couple of matches for her, coming back from a torn ACL in the spring. 4-0 the start for Nebraska in set 2. And the first point for the Wildcats this set.
Yeah, Nebraska couldn't hold on to that. Haynes stretching out high. That one-handed set. Nebraska holding strong, or excuse me, Northwestern holding strong at the net. Being physical, adding another block to the stat category, but offensively, they've got to climb their way out of the negative.
Schwarzenbach. Tight pass, and Hames got it to her sophomore middle.
Yeah, and they're always going to try to pump their middles, especially off of a good pass. And Hames can stretch it. She's got a bunch of range. She reaches high. Kelly is up there, ready to score.
Chang with one arm went up to get it for Alana Walker. And there's Jazz Sweet to put the Huskers up by 5, and it's an 8-1 run going back to the end of set 1.
Just Nebraska's dig transition game is so good. You saw Hames lay out for this ball, get it straight up, but they do something with the ball, and that's huge for a team like Nebraska. That is why they are where they are, because they're able to transition that and make something out of that dig. Alana Walker is doing some nice stuff up there, some blocking, getting some kills. It's really stepped up for this Northwestern team in the last couple matches.
Junior from Chicago, her second kill of the match. Nobody with more than 2 so far for Northwestern tonight. There's Schwarzenbach getting involved. She's up to 3.
Now this is what a pass can do. You got Maddie Kubik up there for a 3-point pass. You see Alana Walker drop her hands and move to her left. Hames recognizes it and sets her middle.
Walker denied.
Yeah, and there's Maddie Kubik too. She just got that 3-point pass, and here right away turns her left hand in over the net into the middle of the court.
One thing John Cook says about her, Liz, is that she's so even-keeled and she makes it just so easy to play right next to her, that teammates love being next to Maddie Kubik out there.
Yeah, I love hearing that too, because they have the chemistry. It's clear, it's evident that a lot of them are smiling. You know, they're winning, they're doing a nice job, they're hitting at high percentages, but they truly enjoy each other, and it's so nice to hear of a player coming into a program like Nebraska and
a freshman on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, it all looks great, and of course this has been a lot of fun to pick, and we'll see what happens at the end of the year.
3+ opinions there. Us two, the crew as one group, putting together their votes, and a long way to go. And I think the crew is timing that up and maybe celebrating their Lauren Stivrins co-pick.
Well, they love that too, and when Lauren Stivrins is at home, this is when she's at her best, and she's really stepped up in a lot of categories this year, and she is a big leader for this Nebraska team.
A captain along with Nicklin Haynes, of course, a returning first-team All-American.
Yeah, Jez Sweet just off the edges of Northwestern's block, really fighting hard for that.
Like a bottle of what? Aloe tanning something for Lexi Sun?
Geez.
It's a director's dream if you're Doug Brown.
That's right. I'm going to show them all to you tonight.
Back-to-back service errors, one aside. Always such a great environment here in Lincoln. If you're of age, you can support Megan Miller. Serving now for the Huskers. Out of the back row, Sun with a kill. And the Huskers up by 10 in set 2.
Yeah, the back row attack has become a really important part of the game at a high-level game. You've got Lexi Sum, all these outside hitters, especially for Nebraska. You've got 2 6-rotation players, something that Coach Cook firmly believes in, recruiting athletes that can play 6 rows or eventually play 6 rotations for the program.
Biggest lead of the match, it's 11, and Shane Davis, remember, has already used both his timeouts this set.
Now look how Stivrins elevates. That is huge. It's great for any middle blocker, middle hitter out there to watch somebody like Lauren Stivrins. Now I know why the crew picked her. She's just a lot of fun. Her athleticism, a lot of body control.
She might lead the conference in hang time.
Right.
Here McNulty now setting for Northwestern. Sun from the back row. They've gone to McNulty a few times this season when Peyton Chang sometimes getting frustrated, and they've wanted to change pace with McNulty. Walker on the slide to end a great rally.
That was a great rally, too, for Northwestern, hanging tight in there. Everyone heard Alana Walker yell slide, and I love it, too, because she wants the ball. That's really important for her right now, to get the ball and get some kills.
She leads the team with her 3 kills so far. Kubik with a roll off a long set by Haynes.
Yeah, just mixing it up, knowing that hole was wide open for Northwestern. Why make it hard on yourself? Just roll it in there.
McNulty for Thomas Ayalara. And another misfire for the star freshman, a half dozen hitting errors.
You got to think the timing, the tempo, just being able to adjust, being out a couple weeks. And also Northwestern with their 2 different setters they've had.
Long bump set by Haynes. Dug by Knuckles. Went all the way up.
Yeah, she can get those hands on the ball, give her teammates a second chance. But Temmie's very physical. If you put the ball in front of Temmie Thomas the way she wants it, she's going to be able to have her way. Right now I feel like the sets are inconsistent.
Lefty McNulty serves. Sun.
That was a fast attack, too. Great tempo ball out to the left side pin, but Lexi's coming around, swinging fast, not giving the blockers any time to set up. She's up there high. She's got a little line to work with. And this is her shot. She goes after it.
This year as a junior, her second year with the Huskers, hitting .282 entering tonight. Kubik from the back with power.
Yeah, and look where that set was too, folks. Everyone watching, you want to set a back row attack in front of the 10-foot line, not behind the 10-foot line. And look at how she hangs. This is where you want your broad jump. Really coming after it. think I am. I was. It is definitely a unique angle.
Here she comes again. And Kubik with back-to-back kills.
Right now, Kubik's got 6 kills. 2 errors, hitting .250 right now for the match.
It has been a dominant set 2. Miller bails out Kubik. On the touch that time, Northwestern gets a point.
Yeah, I'm watching Temi Thomas-Ayala, her short and approach. She's not getting back that far. She's got to wait a long time to take her first step. It's almost like she's hitting from behind her instead of in front of her.
Again, if you joined us late a couple Sundays ago at Rutgers in Piscataway, suffered a sprained ankle landing as she went up to block in the front row. Missed the last 2 matches last weekend. 20-6 is the Huskers lead.
Yeah, we just have some pure errors from Northwestern right now. Their hope is just to clean that up, give their teammates a chance to play the ball.
Northwestern out of system. Sun through the block.
Yeah, that time she went for Becker's left hand. Didn't have that line shot open. Just that hard cross court.
Nicklin Hames still serving. They tried to go to the middle, but the block there for Nebraska.
Yeah, a lot of times on a slow developing play, the block will read it well from McNulty. And Schwarzenbach is already out there making her move. Jazz Sweet helps out. Tough ball to hit around. Middles are used to hitting against a one-on-one opportunity. That time was against 2 blockers.
McNulty got it out for Robinson. Becker with coverage. Job by Johnson on the dig. And the point to Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern really needed that to stop the bleeding, trying to get some kind of rhythm going. And it starts from the serving line.
So Lexi Pitsis trying to do just that from behind the service line. Junior libero from Munster, Indiana, south of Chicago. Sun, terminal on the right side.
Yeah, Sun hitting over 350 right now on the match, having her way on the left side and the right side pin.
Short serve.
Center line violation, point.
And another center line violation call.
Yeah, I'm real surprised right now by Northwestern making some of those errors.
So the crowd again to its feet here in set 2. The Huskers looking to put the finishing touches on a downright dominant set. Northwestern all out of sorts. Sweet going line, and a 2-0 lead for the Huskers at home. Build this thing right. Not going to do it necessarily with transfers. That's not something that's been a part of their program a lot. They have 22 players on this roster. And when these teams met 5.5 weeks ago, it was John Cook who had said something to the effect of, "You're crazy for having 22 people on your roster."
I think you'll see a lot of teams in the Big Ten have some depth this year based on the injuries that we've all witnessed throughout the season. These young women play a lot of volleyball before they get to college.
Walker is blocked. 2-0 start in set 3 for Nebraska.
Yeah, and that's just a swing right into a low seam. She's just trying to gun it in there, test the block. Lexi Sun won't have anything to do with that. She just wants to put that ball down.
Nicklin Haynes serves. Cronister's pass with Chang back in there setting again in set 3 for Northwestern. Robinson. That was close for Knuckles on the one-arm jab.
Yeah, and she's getting that ball up. Next time, she'll get it on her side of the net. You learn. Great libero like Kenzie Knuckles, just a freshman. Key position for a top 10 team like Nebraska.
Yeah, it's been a process for Knuckles. You go from one Kenzie to another at the libero position for Nebraska. Right. And John Cook told her after the match Saturday when she had 24 digs, he said, hey, you outdug Kendall White. You had 7 more digs. It's pretty good. A couple Munciana kids going at it.
Yeah, that's a great point too, Mike, because you always watch somebody in the league that might be better than you, and you want to try to be better than that player.
Lexi Sun not happy about that.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to serve into the bottom of the net.
A bump set from Charlotte Cronister. And Nia Robinson.
Yeah, nice out-of-system play for Nia Robinson. Just holding tight, holding steady. The ball's off the net, a little bit wide. Keeping the ball in front of her, put some heat on it, created that tool opportunity.
Nice roll shot, but that was kept up by Chang. Ton of free balls for Nebraska. Sweet. Wow, is long.
Yeah, you can't give those free ball opportunities. Nebraska will take advantage of it. I know they didn't like that call, but nice patience for Northwestern to hold on to that. This might be the first lead, right?
It is. It sure is. You and our statistician, Steve Shucker, thinking the same thing. And Kubik off the mark, so it's now a 2-point margin for Northwestern with some momentum here early on in set 3.
Yeah, definitely a better start from the service line.
Along the tape and down for Kubik. Oh, and it's going well. It's going well for the Huskers.
Right. She loves that too. How did that land in? Well, I'll tell you, folks. Look how she gets her body all the way.
Negative for the match. Stivrins from Haynes.
Yeah, nice off-blocker move by Maddie Kubik, too, to come all the way from the left side to get that tip up. Nice transition move, too, by Nicklin Haynes to find her middle.
What'd you think about that? Lauren Stivrins getting some love in the Big Ten Player of the Year discussion.
Yeah, I love it. Because I think that's, again, somebody that Lauren Stivrins probably looks at Dana Recchi. And Dana Recchi's getting set a lot. Okay, it was getting set a lot by Wisconsin, especially more towards the beginning of the year. Nebraska seems to move their offense around a little bit more.
By the way, that was the first ace of the night for either team. That came courtesy of Kenzie Knuckles.
And you think about it, too, Nebraska's got 2 really strong outside hitters that have been producing all year round. I think Wisconsin really came alive with their outside hitting game in the conference season. So,
well, check out the movement of Lauren.
Top of her, she tends to push it a little long. So she's leading her away from the block, which is a great move for a setter. And so forces Stivrins to go cross-body and not into the belly of the block. So good move for Nicklin Haynes.
And a block now for the Huskers to go up by 5.
Yeah, we had 3 bodies up there. all identifying what was going on. The teams have good serves, good serving teams, and this is the bread and butter for Nebraska. It starts from the serving line. Very strategic. Everywhere they serve, there's a reason. There's a method to the madness for the serving.
Hames sets Stivrins. It's the power they wanted this on BTN. But yeah, the last 5 years combined, including this season right now, in November and December for Nebraska, the combined record 54-3. The last 5 years coming down the stretch, the last 2 months of the season.
Yeah, that's good work, Mike, too. Win, 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 right? You got to count those W's.
It's like you getting the countdown in your headset.
That's right. That's right. But that's where it counts. You know, the late parts of the month, this is where you put it all together.
Tough serve at Kubik. And the first ace for Northwestern to get back within 5.
Yeah, 2 fast points for Northwestern out of that break. Miss serve for Nebraska and shank pass.
Sarah Johnson suffered a torn ACL on that right knee back in the spring. Just came back over the weekend. Thomas Ayalara. Hames kept it up. Now Sweet. Pitsis' bump set pulls Thomas Ayalara inward, and Pitsis went down. And a block for the Huskers.
Yeah, way to stay in it for Nebraska. I love the defense, too. You've got Hames right there laying out down the line, putting it high enough for a second contact. But there's the block that we've seen, especially in these last 2 sets by Stivrins. Stivrins and company, I should say.
Stivrins up to 7 blocks in this one. Nice change of pace by the freshman Kubik.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of shots out of her tonight. A couple roll shots along the net, in the middle. Finding those open spaces. Nebraska's hitting over 300 right now, 312. Maddie Kubik leading the way.
Served by Miller, prompted the overpass. Sun from the back row.
Yeah, real deliberate too. Great serving, making Johnson lay out to her right. Just identifies no block up in time. Lexi Sun turns that foot in right by the 10-foot line, gets the most out of her approach and her swing.
Block again for Nebraska, in total command tonight here at home.
It might be 12 blocks right now for Nebraska. We saw Desiree Becker trying to reach cross body. Can't even get her around Stivrins. Nice wide block, taking away a big spot on the court.
So Riley Zune will get some work. Highly regarded freshman from Fort Collins, Colorado. An Under Armour All-American last year. Stivrins again. Meanwhile, next up for Northwestern, they are at Michigan State on Saturday. Spartans going to be looking for revenge for what happened just on last Friday. And then Northwestern next weekend, they'll host Rutgers and Penn State. Stivrins on the slide. Is blocked.
I think everyone knew where that ball was going. Stivrins been getting a lot of attempts lately. Great block by Northwestern, double on her to end the run. Temmie getting over there with Desiree, hands over the net.
Part of the discussion all season long for John Cook, and talking about Stivrins and what she has going on, when they're going to throw 2 blockers at her. Wow, Sun took that off the face in the back row, and hopefully is all right. That was a rocket. And she does pop to her feet. My goodness.
Yeah, unfortunately in volleyball that is happening. Athletes, they bring a lot. And if there's no block in front, defense is not ready, that ball changes direction. Went right through the seam.
And not to build the urban legend, but it's happened a few times when Temi Thomas ILR is the one swinging it this year. It's not the first time that's happened off of her right arm. Stivrins against the double block again. What we've been starting to say is when they throw a double block outer, it puts the onus on the left sides to contribute and take some of that pressure off her.
Yeah, for sure. And right now Nebraska's having their way across the front court. Stivrins is really shining. She's got 10 kills right now, 2 airs, hitting .533.
And her 8 blocks, those tie a season high, 1 off a career high. Gerback with a point back for Northwestern.
Checking into the game here for Northwestern, number 5, Emily Newman.
Yeah, Gerback hits kind of a second tempo rhythm, not super flat and fast. She needs a little kick on the end to score.
Sun's tip. Eamon got to it. Now Thomas Ayalara. And a big swing by Peyton Chang, the setter.
Yeah, they'll give her some love for that. The setter swing, something to get her teammates pumped up about. Nice overpass, identifying, keeping the ball in front, and finishing.
Timeout, Nebraska.
Yes.
And a timeout for John Cook. With the lyrics might not be kosher. 18-10, the Nebraska lead. Diving Pitsis. Dug by Knuckles. Got it to Hames at the line. And there is Sun. That is great work about what you talked earlier. Dig and then getting it into transition in a good swing.
Yeah, and this is what they can do. They make a great play. Look at Knuckles' platform. Nice and simple. Not a lot of swinging going on. She just plays the ball and gets back in there to coverage. In the meantime, you have a perfect set connection between Hames and Lexi Sun. So Knuckles, great work by her. I hope every libero out there is watching her. She doesn't do a lot of extra movement.
Temi Thomas Ayalara tooling the block, her 5th kill. She's had 31 swings tonight.
Yeah, I like it when the set's in front of her. I realize that Northwestern has been trying to pull the sets off the net a little bit against a big block by Nebraska, but for somebody like Temi Thomas Ayalara, you need to put her in motion. Get the ball up there and let her do what she does. Swing hard, high, find the hands, hit along the edges.
Off the tape, Cronister's serve. There's Sun with a kill. You know, back to Temi Thomas Ayalara for a moment. We had some fun chatting with Shane Davis about his recruitment of her. And he remembered watching her when Temi Thomas Ayalara was 15 years old. He said she looked like a high school senior. He could not believe that she was 15 at the time, and the talent and the athleticism that she still has.
Yeah, and that's what all the recruiters want.
There's Nia Robinson. Yeah, Shane Davis was actually in the midst of moving from where his house had been from his previous job to his apartment in Evanston. He was in a U-Haul, and Temi Thomas Ayalara texted him and said, "Hey, Coach, I'm going to call you in 15 minutes. He got nervous, and Shane Davis pulled the U-Haul over, and then he got the phone call in celebratory fashion with his wife. The good news that Temi Thomas Ayalara was committed.
Yeah, that's a great story. A lot of coaches remember calls like that from top recruits. Spend a long time forming a relationship, a bond with these high-level athletes through the recruiting process, and when you get that call, that's an important call. So yeah, you're pulling your U-Haul over.
Nothing doing for Desiree Becker, and the Huskers up by 10 and inching closer to what would be their 8th straight sweep of Northwestern. John Cook told us it took us a little bit to settle in there in set 1, and ever since, total command. Sweet.
That's what great defense can do all night long. Nebraska's been playing the ball up off of a great dig. Somebody gets their hands on it, and they get a kill. So not.
Service error from Sun.
Back to serve number 17,
John Cook's team after the huge win on Saturday. Important to beat a top 10 team, important to get that 5-set win after a 5-set loss at Purdue a couple Saturdays ago, the match you had mentioned earlier. Son, Haynes and company keeping that up for the Huskers. Now Robinson, but it brings up match point off the antenna.
back to serve for your Huskers, number 2, Kenzie Knuckles, net point Huskers.
Kenzie Knuckles to serve. Good pass by Chronister. And Robinson says the Wildcats aren't done.
Nice first ball side out. Something that's been missing from Northwestern. So great get to get that 14th point.
Now Sarah Johnson ready to serve. One-on-one, Stivrins was going up against Becker.
Yeah, Becker had her number right there, just ready and waiting. Identified a good pass, knew Haynes was going to pump the middle, held her ground.
Stivrins frustrated with herself.
She's up there, she's showing the arm.
And so a timeout taken by John Cook. Looking for looms. Man, impressive work in conference play. Another match point for Nebraska. And some trouble with the serve.
Yeah, unusual after a timeout for Nebraska to not get that point.
Northwestern still feeling good. Sarah Johnson, the senior from Pasadena, still serving. Knuckles pass. Sweet swing and a block again. It's a 5-0 run for the Wildcats.
This is where you see teams start to get a little tentative. Northwestern's got a lot of chemistry on the bench, for sure.
Knuckles' pass was tight, and Sweet ends it for the Huskers. A late threat in set 3 by Northwestern.